Hi, my pals, how you doing? It is the showstopper, Mr. Leopard, and today I'm coming back to you to let you know a factor that has just been introduced into our political space that is going to have a great bearing. Now, there is a double-edged sword that has been brought into the equation, and I want to tell you for a fact that it is going to significantly affect how our politics will get, to the high gear into the 2022 election in the few months ahead. So, number one is the fact that the legal the legal aspects of coalitions and alliances is going to come into force. So it is two in one. It is the legal aspect and then the trust issues that have been brought on board by Kalonzo Musyoka. So let me begin with the legals. The legals is that the Elections Amendment Act of 2021, which was passed the other day, actually envisages a coalition party that you can actually put together a coalition party that many parties can come together and form a coalition party, but then deposit that with the registrar of political parties and go into that election under the terms of agreement. Now, let me bring on to four, and it is Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. who has been arguing that, and I agree with him rightfully so, that there is no law for coalitions to come together. So Oka and Azimio cannot claim to come together as one coalition versus another, especially if Oka has presented its instruments and deposited with the registrar of political parties. It is the reason why, as of yesterday, Martha Karua of NAC Kenya actually said that they have taken time to retreat and to consult widely on the legal implications going forward. So NAC Kenya is asking themselves that, so if I make a coalition agreement within Oka, with Wiper, with the Kanu, with the Jirongos party, and any other, and then deposit that with the registrar of political parties, what does that mean to me? It actually means that they cannot, in the same breath, say that they want Oka as a coalition, what Kalonzo is giving us as a three-legged stool, cannot as a coalition come to form another coalition with Azimio being an already coalition of political parties, DAP, Jubilee, ODM, and all these other players put together. Now, how significant is that? It is significant to the extent that now trust issues have come on the table, and Kalonzo Musyoka has brought us the trust issues and amplified them so loudly. What is the meaning of that? It actually means that trust is so important that anyone will want to deposit whatever they have agreed with the registrar of political parties so that it is enforced. But whatever deals that are going to exist between parties, between individuals, cannot afford to be those private conversations like what Kalonzo told us that it was, to be a depository by, four guys, him, Raila, Kivutha Kibwana, and Professor Makau Mutua. So there is absolutely no player who is going to go for that pact. And it began with the NAC dream when Mwai Kibaki, frustrated Raila Odinga and betrayed their agreement leading us into 2005 referendum and the rejection of the referendum, and therefore 2007 elections, which was all fiery and a blast that ended up costing lives and slowing down the economy of Kenya and the aspirations of many Kenyans. So what am I trying to say? That these two things, that number one, the lacuna in law in such a way that there is no law that governs coalition versus coalition. It is not envisaged. So even Kalonzo Musyoka, who is a senior counsel, who is making arguments about Oka and Azimio coming together, that ain't going to happen. It can only happen as an alliance. But if it happens as an alliance, what does an alliance mean? An alliance means like what UDA, Ford Kenya, and ANC are doing, that they don't have legal instruments. They have not even agreed on it. You hear they are now discussing the issues of running mate, and Rigathi Gachagua is saying, hey, running mate is from the mountain, president is from, it's William Samoei Ruto. And the inflated and the bloated and the overpriced ego of Moses Wetangula, like Kalonzo, comes into play and says, we are equal. We are equal. Now, William Ruto has already called the Ford Kenya Village Party, but Wetangula has to do what he's got to do. The narcissistic personality disorder, I said yesterday, it is overpricing yourself. It is demanding to be accorded superiority that you do not actually measure up to. But this is my point. My point is that Oka, as currently constituted, has not deposited their agreement of coalition, those instruments, to the register of political parties. Should they do so, then outrightly there shall be no possibility and legal capability to then merge Azimio with Oka as a coalition versus coalition. If it is to be deposited at the register of political parties, then it has to be one agreement. So it cannot be coalition and coalition. There is no legal framework. It cannot be an alliance. But what does an alliance mean? An alliance means that it is a gentleman's agreement, like what Kalonzo is crying foul about today. So it cannot be a gentleman's agreement. Right now, all the players will have to go the legal way, the way other parties have come together with Jubilee and then ceded their superiority to Jubilee and say, let us be a cooperation within the party. That's agreed under the law. That is how Jubilee formed the last government, with other parties folding up and then doing a cooperation so that there's one party called Jubilee. Now, Azimio is a coalition. It has DAP, it has ODM, it has Jubilee, and it has, other players. So, Ngilu's party, Kivutha Kibwana's party, Maendeleo, Chap Chap party. And given that we have trust issues, I can predict that Oka is not going to crystallize its marriage. It is not going to crystallize to deposit its instruments of law on instruments of coalition to the register of political parties. Otherwise, Martha Karua, who is a senior counsel as we speak, should not be retreating at this point in time. She is actually giving us a smoke screen which shows that, wait a minute, I think I had missed out at this point. So the question would be, would they rather form a coalition as Oka and then do a non-binding alliance with Azimio? The answer is no. They have to make the hard choice to either go with Kalonzo Musyoka into the opposition or into that middle space that can be decided much later, or do a direct deal with the guys who are going to be in power, which will be Kenya Kwanza or Azimio. And they have already stated their interest, that they are more interested with Azimio, and there is no way under the sun they are working with Kenya Kwanza, at least not in this particular election. I can predict for you, and I can say it without blinking my eyes, that you can quote me on these. It's not going any other way. That Kanu, Cyrus Jirongo's party, Martha Karua, will not deposit their instruments of coalition party to the registrar of political parties, but shall do so through Azimio and not Oka. So Oka is dead. Take that to the bank. Anything different, come back to me. Ask. If it's not gonna go the way I have said it, I probably won't do commentary again. See you. It is the showstopper, Mr. Leopard. So we'll talk about many other things to come. For example, when I said that while Baba was away, he should have come, with the convoy and all that. Kenya Kwanza stole that idea. So William Ruto's trip to the US is nothing but trying to create a Baba while you are away. They're holding meetings there. They don't even have seats. Some of the delegation is standing on their feet while the meetings are going on. Those are the state officials. Yeah, they met with the governor of Nebraska. Yeah, it's a state governor. So it is a state official. Doesn't mean it is the federal. So here, when we talk about state, is a big thing. We're talking about the president. When we say head of state, it is the president. Their head of state is actually head of the state, which is like the county. So the governor of Nebraska, yes, he is head of state. If you want to talk about the presidency, it means two different things. For those who do not understand American politics, we would be saying it is the federal state. That is the only way. You're talking about Biden, Harris, Kamala, and many of those other fellows. So it is what it is, my people. We're going to raise this matter and we're going to discuss it some other time when it comes up for discussion. God bless you. It's been your guy, the showstopper, Mr. Leopard. God bless you.